Okay, boys. Second time this is the charm, it seems. Uh, well, as always, I'm Trok. Welcome to week 3, but first we will be reviewing week 2. This is the second time I'm doing this recap because the first time, as you will see in a few minutes, I recorded a few videos, but I forgot to mute them, and they were a lot louder than me, so you couldn't hear me. I know I'm annoying, but at some point you have to hear me anyway, right? So, okay, let's get started. Week 2. Let's do the recap first. So, we got the Amazons that went against the Lizards. Big match. And it was a 1-1 tie. I'm not surprised really by this tie. Both were very strong teams, and it really showed. Neither of the coaches made big mistakes. Both of them dominated their respective offensive halves, so it was expected to have a 1-1 draw. If we look at the statistics, both had similar ball possession, which you can attribute to their offensive halves. No passes, plenty of blocks on each side, 52 yards running each because there was not many shenanigans. Various SPP for kind of low on SPP actually because neither team was too damaged by this game. And then we see the dice rolls. Pretty standard really. A little bit high on the Amazons, but you have to count the armor there as well. Here the Lizards had a lot of ones. Wow. The Lizards were not so lucky, but then again, the armor also counts, so those 25 successes, probably some armor there involved with low numbers. The block dice, nothing out of the ordinary really. Pretty average. So yeah, as I said earlier, 1-1 draw, each one won their offensive half, and the only worthy really play of the match that I want to show you is the score of the Lizards, because they did something that I really would advise against, but they did it anyway. Before scoring they took punches, and they even took punches without block. Let's take a look. It's really crazy. As you can see, a blitz with a blockless Lizard, unpunished, never punished. And then they take another block, double skulls, never punished again. And then they scored. I know it's not terribly likely that they roll 2 1-in-9s in a row. That's a 1 in 81, but it happens, and I will show you later. It actually happens. So anyway, that's for their match. Let's move on. Then we have Time to Bash versus the Thaint Burglars. Well, you people keep feeding Michaels, and I don't know who will stop it now. It started a fair match. Neither team was too dominant at first, but there was a play where the Necro managed to surround the ball, and then the Chaos failed the dodge, and everything went downhill from there. The ball possession was nothing spectacular. SPP plenty for the Necro thanks to the touchdowns. And dice rolls, well, the Chaos rolled a lot of dice, over 20 of each, over 36s. Chaos rolled less dice, that's usually good. And they were not great dice either, 2s and 1s, more than the 5s and 6s, but they knew how to play with them. The block dice for the Necro was pretty good, even though they had some both downs. Block dice for the Chaos was normal. No, 18-18, 16-26. But this both downs really screwed them, as you will see in a moment. So I will show you the play that really made the match interesting. Let's have a look. As you can see here, the Chaos are surrounded by two wolves, but he decided to go and blitz something else. And look at that, 2 29s in a row. That would have been interesting for the Lizards, but it happened to the Chaos with a block piece. But still, they were forced to dodge, and it failed. After failing that, KO, free ball, and it was really downhill from there for the Necro, for the Chaos, I mean. Good win for the Necro. Jeff is really a good coach, but you can only do so much with this team. Then we have the ordinary elves versus orcs are gonna orc. This was a really fun match to watch, especially because the elves played really well. Let's have a look first at the stats. Less ball possession by the elves, that's standard really. They don't keep the ball much time after they pick it up. They try to score a lot, which they did. They punched a lot. 34 blocks versus 35. You usually don't expect elves to punch so much, especially considering it's a 3-1 win. So the elves gave more LOS blocks than the orcs, and even then they got more punches. So very interesting. Plenty of SPP for both teams, but more for the elves obviously. The dice rolls, pretty average for the elves. And kind of average for the orcs, true, also. Yeah, a little bit more sixes than ones, but pretty average overall. What about the block dice? Nothing out of the ordinary. Same here. I'd say even the block dice of the elves was not great, but they knew how to use them. So, best play of that match, without a doubt. Well, let's see first what happened. The orcs decided to. Well, let's put it this way. The elves score early, so the orcs say, "Okay, I guess this is my chance. I have to 2-1 grind this, right? That's how you beat elves." And they go for the 2-1 grind, but the elves managed to defend rather well, and the orcs had a choice that many of us batch coaches have. You either go for the win anyway, risking giving the ball to the elves, or you stay defensive and try to play for the draw. The orcs went all in, and they went with a big potato. Let's have a look. Massive potato. Whoop. What do you guys think happened here? You know what happened. You know what happened. Let's have a look. Elves did elf things. Guy got marked. The guy got sacked. And of course, a turn later, the guy got scored upon. I like this. He gave the ball to the War Dancer, because the War Dancer is not a loner, he can reroll stuff, and it will come into play. Look how he throws the ball, but because he's not a loner, he can reroll it. Give it to the catcher. Has a built-in reroll to catch, built-in reroll to dodge, and on he goes. Excellent score. After that, the orcs managed to grind their own half, score on turn 16, but the elves then made a one turn, a very beautiful one turn, for the 3-1 win. Great match. Very, very good game by the Ordinary Elves. And finally, we have Cold Cuts versus Los Caballeros. I actually expected this match to go worse for the Brats. But Agrin played it safe, and in a way, even though it's a 2-0 win, the Brats never really stood a chance. It was a very, very solid win. The Brats don't have rerolls, which I've said before. That's really complicated for them. They induced one reroll, but still one reroll is not enough. Let's have a look at the dice. Well, the SPP, more SPP for the Torps, obviously. Well, the dice for the Cold Cuts was normal, really. They didn't roll a lot of dice. That usually, as I said earlier, is a good thing. The Brats rolled a lot of more dice, and even though it was average dice, when you roll a lot, you will fail at times, and sometimes you will fail when you least need it. What about the block dice? The Brats, kind of shitty block dice, to be honest. A lot of skulls there. And the Cold Cuts, above average dice, to be honest. But I don't think it was dice. It was rather a game of better team building and better positioning. And why I say better positioning? Because these Brats also resorted to the classic potato play. And that's where the Torps turn it around. Let's have a look. As you can see here, they free the ball, and then potato! A brave effort. But especially with this wrestle here, completely unprotected. After that, it wasn't so hard for the Torps to do Torp things. Back the ball, clear the blitzer, put a safety Torp, because of course you do. Get out of the way and punch the ball loose. Boom. After that, the Torps recovered the ball, ran it in, and for a very safe but very effective 2-0 win. So, that was week 2. Welcome to week 3. I'm going to do predictions. We'll see what happens. First, we have the Lizards versus the Brats. This is a really, really hard match for the Brats. I don't really see them performing so well against such a strong team. I mean strong in the literal sense. The Lizards have 6 strength 4 players, a strength 5 player. The Brats maybe can do stuff with Dauntless, but Dauntless will only get you so far. Do they have any guard or anything? No, they didn't even have a guard. They've leveled up a lineman, gave him block. So yeah, not great really. It's going to be a rough one for the Brats. I'm going to give it to the Lizards. Then we have Torps versus Orcs. Great match. Really looking forward for this one. The Torps are a little bit more expensive. That can cost them. They have 1 bench and a great team. Great team. If I'm the Orcs, I focus on this little fella. You get rid of the guard, you can dominate the match. And the Orcs, well, the Orcs have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. So add 50 to that, 1230 out of skill, 1250 against 1340. So if they scum a little, they can get stuff. Oh, and they're then 2010, so they're actually less expensive because they're 60 here. That is extra. I would probably use it to buy a lineman or two, or maybe a troll and a lineman. That would be interesting. I would like to see a troll on this team. I really would. If you don't get a troll, you'll have enough money for a bribe or a wizard. I would definitely get a bribe and start kicking those turfs. And if this guy Quickie gets Mighty Blow, I think you're favored for this. I'm not sure if Mighty Blow is the best for every match, but for this match, you want to be punching those hobos with Mighty Blow. So I would get Mighty Blow here. So yeah, it really depends. As they are now, I think the Dwarves are in a better position. But the Orcs have the money, have the inducements, and have a level up that can change everything. If the Orcs manage to use those three things to their advantage, I think they can win this. Then we have Ordinary Elves versus Taint Burglars, Necro versus Elves. I want to see something about the Necro here. They got a tackle. That's really important. Okay, so the tackle changes things a little. Also, the werewolves having frenzy is like a pseudo tackle because you punch twice. You have guard, but it's kind of slow guard. Fleshy here. Block fleshy, which is great. Where's the guy? Okay. 13 players. And the elves. Mighty Blow. Strip Ball. Wait, did the ghoul have sure hands? He does. Good. A tree. Interesting. I don't know what anything can happen in this match. I mean, if the Necro starts getting some good punches in there, removing elves, it can get difficult. On the other hand, the Wood Elves, they can play with low number of players, and they have the tools to make this work. I don't know, man. Both coaches are playing so strong. Last round, they both just ran over their opponents. I'm really looking forward for this match. I'm not sure if the Elves can afford a Wizard, because they have to replace all these missing players, but if they can afford a Wizard, I'm going to give it to the Elves. If not, it's going to be a toss. I don't know, a coin toss at this point. And then we have Time to Bash versus the Brusque Broads. That would be a Chaos versus Amazons, and I would definitely give this one to the Amazons. Jeff, you're a great coach, nothing against you, man. But holy shit, this is a shit team. Like 3 block, 1 dodge, and just a bunch of naked goats. This is not going to work, man. This is not going to work. Just look at the other team. Blood everywhere. 3 guard, mighty blow, diving tackle. Come on. How are you going to handle this? What are you going to do? You even have a bench. They can start fouling you if they want. I just don't see how Chaos can. Chaos is a particularly bad team at first. They get better with time because they have great skill access. They have strength access and they have mutation access in their alignment. So they're a great team for developing, but they are not a good rookie team. Amazons are the exact contrary. The Amazons start great, they develop to be even better, but they hit a ceiling where the other teams start getting their tackle killers, Amazons start going down. But this team doesn't have a killer. In fact, they don't even have tackle. So no tackle, no mighty blow. I just don't see it. So yeah, that's the week for this week, week 3. So good luck to everyone. I hope you get your matches in soon, so I can start preparing the next recap. If you have any ideas or any suggestions for the recap, just let me know. Also, try to let me know when you're playing, because when you're, I would like to be there. I like to watch the matches live, and so I can form a better opinion of what is of each match. And I think that's it for today. See you guys, and I'll see you next week.